Okay, hello, and this is just me making another video, and I'm trying to get more likes and more followers and more comments. So if you can just take a moment right now and just follow me either on Rumble or YouTube. I make these on with Yard Stream, and I just do lives, and I don't script myself. So today I'm going to talk about the New World Order and what I see as the Antichrist, and how things have been going for the last I'm going to say 500-600 years or so. So first of all, England was the country that the American Revolution, and we fought England. England was in Canada too, and still controls Canada. England also was involved in Australia, New Zealand, and I believe South Africa. And England definitely took down the Ottoman Empire and created the problem in the Middle East and created all those countries in 1914, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Jordan, all those countries. They divided up Persia, the Ottoman Empire, into all those countries, and also Palestine, which is key, which was the Holy Land, which we had the Crusades. And also in the 1500s, they were big on the Reformation and rewriting the Bible and recreating the Christian faith, which mostly every Protestant faith follows the King James Version Bible, which is the Church of England's Bible, which is now under the control of King Charles III. Also, they started World War One and were a big factor in World War II. And they kind of control America. No one really looks at that. And also, they all murder their wives for some reason. And King Henry VIII, I mean, he murdered like 4 of his wives, cut their heads off. And even King Charles, the third, and the Diana thing. And we all kind of know, that there's a possibility that he killed her. So my thoughts on this are World War III, and I gave some prophecy videos on this. I think England's going to be the first country to send troops to literal, like troops to Ukraine, because it's always been about Kiev and Ukraine. And so that's where I think the first troops. And when they do that, that's going to be a kind of a deadly mistake on their part. Now, in the Middle East, they also were the ones who created Israel and started that conflict there by bringing Jews over for the Zionists. So the Zionists are in there. Hey, Third Fork, how you doing today? And so I wanted to just touch base. Like everywhere you look, you see England, American Revolution, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa. You see them in the Middle East. You see them even things with 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 China stuff, with the opium trade and stuff like that. So they're like everywhere they start these problems in World War One, World War Two, and now, well, I'm telling you that I'm pretty sure England's going to be the first ones to send troops there. I think that there's going to be troops in England from Russia, and Russia's going to come through into Europe, even in Italy. There's going to be a lot of civil wars. Going to be civil wars in the United States. Also, they're doing the same thing. I made another video on that in America with the immigrants and all the Western European nations is to collapse the countries. And they're doing it the same way. They're giving all the immigrants everything for free. And then they're going to be giving them housings. There's already starting in England and other places. They're making people move and they're building houses for them. And they're giving them free money. And then they're going to, create a new world order society. They're going to break down all the nations. They're also going to use pandemics and also, sadly, the pandemics that they already put out there are going to have residual effects on us in the coming years. People are going to be getting a lot sicker. Um, so I see that now, but I have something, besides that. I think that the royal family is the best choice for right now for the Antichrist. The Zionists have a little different plan. So if you're a Christian, you would know, or in the Catholic faith, and they even teach, oh, the Antichrist is going to come out of the Middle East or Jerusalem. But Jerusalem's not the capital. Tel Aviv is right now. So here's what I think the Jewish Zionist plan is. I think that they obviously created these. No more scamdemics. I don't know about that. I think they're working on the zombie. When England, and I'm answering someone in chat. When when Russia first took over in parts of Ukraine and they got the biolabs, they found that the American biolab there was working on a aerosol rabies um, virus. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Also the thing with the snake venom in when you get a little spiritual, the snake venom in the jab thing, whatever, that's like another theory out there. And I don't know. I'm not a biologist or anything, or biologist. I don't know anything, but I just find that kind of interesting that they put that out there. And the other thing I think they're really crazy, but so I gave the thing like with the American Indians, how they brought white people over, pushed the American Indians over, and then when the Indians got mad and they were killing them and taking their land and trying to fight back a little bit, they called them savages and they wiped them out. And that's the same thing that's happened in Israel. They put the Zionists paid and Jewish people to go there to Palestine and said, oh, it's your birthright, it's this and that. And a high percentage of them are Khazarians anyway. They have nothing to do with the Middle East. The Khazarian king just made in, I think it was the 1300s, or I forgot what centuries it was. But he picked a religion for the country, and he picked Judaism, and everyone converted to Judaism that lived in all the Eastern Bloc nations there. That was Khazaria, and that's how it came to be. So now and they're very good at putting a spin on thing, like one Israeli person gets killed, and so they go, oh, let's kill 5,000 Palestinians. And in 1948, the population in Palestine went from the non-Jewish people in Palestine from 1,324,000 in 1 year down to 156,000. They got rid of over 1 million Palestinians in 1 year. So where did they all go? You think they bought their houses and paid them and said, hey, let me buy some land and build some here? No, they murdered them, raped them, killed them, chased them out, and the people ran for their lives, the ones that got away to other countries. And that's what brought around the 67 war, because all the refugees and the people running, the craziness going there, and those other countries tried to protect them. And then Israel said, oh, we feel threatened, and they attacked all of them. I mean, that's what happened. So, but I want to talk about the Zionist plan, because their plan's a little different than the New World Order plan. So the New World Order plan, so they're going to have the Third World War, and they're going to divide us up into, they call, European Union, North American Union, Euro-Asian Union, South American Union, African Union. And that's how they're going to, set it up in, these 15-minute cities, and kind of like set up in the way like the Hunger Games is set up, like there's these sectors, little 15-minute cities, and depending on your classification, I guess now it's your color or whatever, and they'll put you in your place. That's what their plan is. Now, there's also another thing I wanted to mention, because there's 3 country states in the world, and that's the Vatican, London, England, And also the third one would be Washington, D.C. So right now they all have a role, right? But London's mostly in the money thing with the Rothschilds. Okay, so there's you got that Zionist connection with the money and the King of England, and they're all playing a game with each other too. But so they have a different end game. So the end game for the New World Order people are what I just explained to you, but they're going to get rid of Washington D.C. as a country state and also the Vatican, and they already have the Church of England, and they're going to make that a Luciferian type of religion. In other words, there'll be Jesus in there, but he won't be Son of God, and they're going to change it again, and everyone's going to have to belong to that religion. The Arabs and the Jews are going to wipe each other out in Islam, and the Jews are 17 million people, and the ones that are left will be just their minions to do their dirty work. It's just like the the Freemasons created KKK, and that was to do their dirty work. They also helped in Europe. They created the mafia in Italy with Manzini. That was Albert Pike who did that, and that's just kind of funny to me. So I like put all these little pieces together, and that was to do their dirty work. And the Jews do the dirty work, the Zionist Jews, because I don't want to have regular Jewish people, just people, So but you notice they have a lot of money. Most Jewish people. I don't know any homeless Jewish people. I never met one. If you met a homeless Jewish person, let me know, because I don't know any homeless Jewish people. If maybe there's a dozen in the world, I don't know, but most of them, got lots of money. And that's because they will do anything for money, just like anybody else. And I'm not just picking on Jews. That's our politicians in America. They'll do anything for money. They don't care if they're murdering people or doing whatever. Hey, if the big boys are giving them the money, and the central bank is controlled through London, even though the money they say is in Switzerland or wherever. No, this London. So they're going to keep London as, remember, at Brexit, it's left the European Union. It's going to be, England's going to be the country state, and they're going to control everything from there. So they're going to control the religion, they're going to control the military, and they're going to control the religion, the military, and the money. And it's going to be a digital money, bull crap money. It's not going to be real money. It's going to be credits based on how good of a person you are and what sector you live in and what part of the world. And then, and then they own all the resources and everything. So that's the New World Order people. So their connection with the Zionists has nothing to do with the money. They needed a people that they could control and keep isolated, which they used the Jewish people, sadly, as cannon fodder. And they're sticking them out there. Remember the 6 million number of Jews being Holocausted in Germany? Well, that wasn't really 6 million because the population didn't account for it. So that would mean that there's now 7 million Jews in Israel. So they're willing to sacrifice 6 million of them in Israel. And that's what they're there for, to be sacrificed in this World War III thing for the Zionists. So the Talmud says, so that first of all, to annihilate all Christians, has all this crazy stuff in it, and that's what a lot of the Jewish people follow today, because the religion really died in AD 70 when the temple was torn down by the Romans. They were scattered throughout the world. God scattered them for being disobedient. And you think they would learn their lesson, actually, but nobody does. None, not the Catholics, not the Baptists, not anybody. The Buddhists, no one seems to learn their lesson about killing each other for some reason. So anyway, this is a thought pattern that came to me. Trump, he did something very interesting, because he's trying to work with, and he's not as smart as people think he is. He has a lot of smart people around him, but he's a pretty bright guy, but he's got guts. He does not give up. So here's the thing about Trump. He made a deal with Israel. He put our embassy in Jerusalem to make it the capital. See, Israel wants Jerusalem as its capital, but it can't really do that, right? Because of all the Christians and the Islamics there. They're like, well, we can't make. So now they got them all surrounded, and they got control of Jerusalem, but it's not their capital. So when Trump made that move, and then I thought about it, and I said, that's the Zionist plan. When 6 million Jews die, according to the Talmud, right, then their Messiah will come. Okay, so now they're doing the third temple. They want to build it, right? But they can't because the Dome of the Rock is on there. They need to fight with the Arabs to get full control of Jerusalem, and they need to destroy the Christians too, in the Christian faith. And that's going to be done in America with Civil War, to World War III, through Ukraine and through the China on the western side of the United States. And in Europe, you're going to have the same problems with Russia and China. And people are going to lose faith in God, and they're going to close up all the churches, and they're going to make laws. And, like you can't say certain words now, which have to do with transgenderism. Oh my goodness! Or you can go to. I heard someone a kid got suspended from school in America here for using the term illegal alien, and I thought, really, they're really going too far with this. So I think the Zionist plan is that they think, and this would concur more with the Bible, that their Antichrist, our Antichrist, would be their Messiah. It just happens to work out that way, is going to come from there. And they're going to try and rebuild. They're going to rebuild the third temple. But first, they got to get rid of all the Arabs. So they're going to use the nukes. They're going to sacrifice. I can tell you a part of Israel. They're going to sacrifice Tel Aviv, their capital. They're going to sacrifice 6 million Jewish people. And then they're going to make sure they lose 6 million Jewish people. And they're going to, cut off food. Civil wars going on. There's going to be civil wars for all the countries in Europe because nobody wants to be involved in these wars. Then you're going to have Russian troops coming in, Chinese troops, and you're going to have everything in America. We're going to have UN troops. We're going to have such a chaos. This is what I think their plan is. Okay, when I say that's now, what's going to happen is I don't know, because it's always up to God. And so I don't have any private revelation on this. I have some little hints, like I know the first nuke that goes off to start this all off is probably going to be a nuclear detonation, not a rocket. So I see those things, but I just wanted to make that thing. So third floor, are you still here? How you doing? How's everything? I saw a couple of your videos. I don't know if you're still there. I was just going to make this really short today because I make them too long. Nobody really watches them at all anyway. And I try to keep them fairly short, and I'm trying to keep this one short. I'm talking a little faster than I usually do. And when I do that, I skip around subjects a lot more, and I miss a lot of things that I wanted to say. So I did say World War III at 3 places in World War III. So Russia and Ukraine. It's going to spread into Europe, the Middle East, with Israel to Iran, and is going to explode in China. Is going to want Taiwan and Japan, and to make their but there will be a problem with the Euro Asian part of their plan, because the Chinese and the Russians, they're getting along now because they're kind of enemies, but we're worse off. They have a goal in mind themselves, and China has its own goal in mind too. But they're going to argue with each other anyway. They wouldn't get along. So my guess is that the three places of the World War. And I also think that it's very interesting that when Iran fell, it became a religious state. So before 79, Iran was very westernized. In fact, most of Persia was. And you could look at pictures back from then, and they were just dressed like us. And they were wearing bikinis on the beach and whatever. And then all of a sudden, they put this religious Ayatollah nut in there. And then we got radical Islam, and now it's an Islamic state, and it's the enemy. And then, you know what? They put that shit. They did that on purpose. And same thing, why they put all the Jewish people in Israel. And people don't know. People think it's just like the people coming up from South America to America, the immigrants, illegal immigrants. They're giving us money. They're giving us free everything, medical, everything. And we're living in a shithole. I'm going to use Trump's country. And they're emptying out their prisons and sending them to America. They're like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, send us your prisoners. We need the unrest. We need to get this going. You know, we're a little bit behind schedule. We're supposed to only have 99 million Americans left in by the year 2025, and we're falling behind schedule. We got to catch up. In fact, all of Europe has a 70% decrease in population, even down in New Zealand and in Australia. The whole world. The only one I saw without a 70% decrease was actually funny Italy. And just oddly, it was it was like a 40%. Well, it wasn't 70% though in China, which I thought was kind of odd that China didn't have a big decrease in populations. But anyway, I just wanted to make this video, and I please like and share my videos or follow me or something, because I can't get a lot of followers. And if my video's terrible, like say, dude, stop making videos. They suck. Do something for me. And so then I just always end this like this. Remember to love your neighbor as Jesus has loved you. That means to love your neighbor not like you love yourself. You know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Use make your neighbor worth more than you are to yourself. Think of them more worthy than you to help each other. That's the best way I could say it. I think that's the answer. And we need to, we're in the position of sort of Nivea. We need to repent and make up for what we've done wrong and start following God again. God bless. Take care.